How anticipation can transform tennis matches. Anticipation is one of the most valuable and often underrated skills in tennis. While technique, fitness, and strategy each play a major role in success, anticipation can be the invisible factor that sets great players apart from good ones. At its core, anticipation is the ability to predict where your opponent's shot is going before it actually happens. This foresight allows you to be in the right place at the right time, giving you precious extra moments to prepare your response. In a sport where the ball travels at high speeds and the margin for error is razor thin, even half a second of additional time can make the difference between making a clean shot or scrambling defensively. The impact of anticipation on match outcomes is profound. Players who anticipate well consistently look like they have more time to react, more balance in their strokes, and greater control over the pace of rallies. Rather than constantly reacting and being pushed around the court, they are proactively positioning themselves to take the initiative or neutralize their opponent's best shots. When you watch elite players, it can seem almost supernatural the way they appear to know what is coming. This isn't magic, it's a combination of experience, observation, and trained reflexes. Anticipation can shape the course of entire matches. A player who anticipates effectively will get into position earlier, reducing unforced errors and increasing the chances of hitting aggressive, well-placed shots. Over time, this creates pressure on the opponent, forcing them to take bigger risks or play outside their comfort zone. Good anticipation doesn't just help in defense, it is equally important on offense, where it allows a player to move forward and finish points decisively. The psychological impact is significant too. Opponents often become frustrated when they feel their best shots keep coming back, and they start to second-guess their decisions. To develop anticipation, players must train their eyes, minds, and feet to work together. One of the first steps is learning to watch the opponent rather than focusing only on the ball. Observing an opponent's body position, racket preparation, and footwork can offer clues about where they intend to hit. For example, the angle of the racket face, the rotation of the shoulders, or the way the wrist is held can all signal the direction and type of shot about to come. With practice, players can learn to pick up these subtle cues almost instantly. Another key component is recognizing patterns. Tennis players often fall into predictable habits, especially under pressure. Some always go cross-court when pulled wide, others tend to drop shot when they are pushed back behind the baseline. By paying close attention to these tendencies during a match, you can start to anticipate their responses in similar situations. Over time, you'll learn to make educated predictions rather than guessing blindly. Of course, none of this works without the physical preparation to capitalize on what you see. The split step is essential. A small hop timed to land exactly as your opponent makes contact with the ball. This simple movement primes your body to explode in any direction, and makes it easier to take the first step quickly and with balance. Players at all levels, from beginners to professionals, benefit from refining their split-step timing and footwork. For beginners, developing anticipation starts with building these core habits. Learning to split-step consistently, observing the opponent's preparation, and positioning sensibly after each shot are fundamental skills. At this stage, the goal isn't to guess precisely where the ball will go, but to become aware of how your opponent's body language can offer early hints. Even recognizing obvious cues, like a big backswing signaling a powerful shot, can help you start reacting sooner and feeling less rushed. Intermediate players can build on this foundation by studying opponents' patterns and starting to read more subtle signals. They can also begin integrating anticipation into their match strategy, using what they learn to adjust tactics point by point. Drills such as calling out the expected shot direction as soon as the opponent swings or practicing occlusion exercises, pausing video clips before impact and predicting the shot, are valuable for sharpening these skills. At this level, anticipation becomes a combination of perceptual awareness and strategic thinking. Advanced players take anticipation to the highest level. They often prepare before matches by scouting opponents' tendencies, analyzing video footage, and developing game plans that account for likely patterns. On court, they combine instinctive reading of minimal cues with exceptional footwork and timing. Their split steps are precisely tuned to the opponent's rhythm, allowing them to move early without compromising balance. At this stage, anticipation becomes almost a psychological battle. Advanced players not only predict their opponent's shots but also disguise their own intentions to prevent being read in return. Anticipation is not a skill developed overnight. It requires deliberate practice, keen observation, and thousands of hours of match experience. However, it can also be learned incrementally by players at any level. Beginners will find that simply becoming more attentive to their opponent's preparation helps them feel more in control. Intermediate competitors will gain confidence as they begin to recognize patterns and respond proactively. Advanced players can continue to hone anticipation as a decisive weapon, using it to stay one step ahead in the tightest matches. Ultimately, anticipation transforms tennis from a game of reaction to a game of proactive strategy. It creates the feeling of extra time on every shot and enables you to play with greater composure and purpose. As you develop this skill, you'll discover that rallies which once felt overwhelming become opportunities to assert control and shape the point. The joy of correctly anticipating a tough shot and responding with a confident stroke is one of the most satisfying experiences tennis has to offer. By learning to observe closely, think ahead, and trust your instincts, you give yourself the best chance to succeed. In the end, anticipation is the art of staying present while seeing the future, and it can become your greatest asset on the court.